Kathy Bush.
And hello, I'm Dr. Tara Peters, and we are the Leadership Doctors.
Welcome to another interview in our Lessons from Leaders series. We're excited today to be talking with a former Northwood University MBA graduate, Kristen Wuerfel, who is interesting to talk to because of her career in leadership roles in marketing and communications in a couple of different industries, and of course her great enthusiasm and her investment in the development of other people. So welcome, Kristen.
Hi there. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Tara.
It's so nice to see your smiling face from Michigan today. So at the moment, Kristen is in a relatively new role. She'll be telling us a bit about that. She's the Director of Marketing and Communications for a wealth management firm called TriStar Trust. And she's had a couple of other interesting leadership roles leading into this one. So Kristen, how about if you get us started giving us an idea, a few of the different jobs you've had and your interests in leading, and then what you're doing right now.
Sure. I started after I graduated from DeVos. I actually recruited there for a year in admissions, loved my role there, and then got recruited away myself to work at Midland Center for the Arts, also in the home city of Midland, Michigan. And I was there for 11 years. I started in a marketing and media relations capacity, promoting all of our performances, museum exhibits. Everything's changed out seasonally. There was classes for kids, and just found it fascinating how you could be working on multiple projects and be targeting multiple target audiences, and really found my love of marketing. Within my tenure there, I had worked myself into being on the strategic team and leading the marketing and communications department as the director, and loved that role, leading a team of 6 individuals to help make all that magic happen. My crowning moment was really rebranding and repositioning a nearly 40-year-old brand and staple in the community, to be able to target a new audience so that it could still live on, so that the arts could be appealing to additional subset of individuals as the arts audience was aging. So that was just awesome. As I was doing that, my family was growing, as I'm about to celebrate my 13th wedding anniversary with my husband, Adam. And so with our 3 kids in tow and life just getting busy, decided that it was time for a change. So I very much identified at the center with the purpose and why I was there, and moving the needle and helping solve the problems to get to the next show, the next event, the next whatever it was, but saw the need for a change and thought, I'm in control of this and I can make it happen. So I joined TriStar Trust as the first ever actually marketing and communications director, also in the Great Lakes Bay region. And I've been here for just over a year, and I really chose to join here because it's a wealth management firm with a purpose. I am drawn to entrepreneurs. I grew up in an entrepreneurial family myself, as my father was a 2nd generation business owner, and now my husband and brother are running a water company in Bay City. And I love that entrepreneurial spirit about how you can take something, you get entrusted with these individuals that are your employees, and it's your responsibility to take care of them and take care of the families that they are supporting amongst with earning that paycheck. And so TriStar Trust is, I never pictured myself, I'll just say, never pictured myself as a banker, if you will. But this firm really has a higher purpose. And so what I mean when I say that is, we're here to help people manage their wealth. We're here to help organizations manage their wealth. We're here to help administer 401ks. And that's what we do on a day-to-day basis. But why? Why are we all here? And we're here to build one-on-one relationships that strengthen families and transform the community. And articulating that higher purpose was one of the first things that I actually did when I got to TriStar. Is I could see the leadership having that want and need to articulate that. So we went to work and did that. And now I get to be a part of that movement, and it's awesome.
So Kristen, as you were talking, first of all, I can tell your love for the work that you are doing. So that is fantastic when we can find this place in this space, right, that fits our interests and our desires. And we're excited about the work that we get a chance to do. We're going to get a chance to explore that a little bit later in more detail. But given just the passion and the zeal that you have for the work that you're doing. I'm sure that that's really energizing right now, given what's going on with the pandemic, given the responsibility that TriStar has around managing wealth, helping people with their 401ks and their retirement planning. And so that's certainly top of mind right now with what's going on with the pandemic, as we see the news and people are trying to figure out what's in their best interest. So talk to us a little bit about what you're observing around your organization in terms of how you're actually helping clients, conversations that you might be having with other leaders within the bank around how they're looking to help you to fulfill that that higher calling and purpose that you have, and how that's really impacting how you're approaching the work that you're doing and your operations.
What an insightful and loaded question, because you are not kidding. We are experiencing in this pandemic, it is incredible, all the change. And when folks are planning for and getting ready for retirement, them having that nest egg and putting into that, and then see the drastic drop that it's taken, it has put them in a different headspace. I love our team. So what can I say is, during this pandemic, we have pulled together as a team to make our clients know that they're being taken care of. So let me dig into that a little bit just to tell you some of the tactics. We have pumped up our communication like crazy. We do an employee engagement survey. I wish every organization would do this, but we just did our second one. And still on that is that people want us to increase employee communication. I will go to my grave saying it doesn't matter which organization you are at. Everybody wishes they could be communicated to more, wish it could be more frequent, wish it could be more in depth, whatever, fill in the blank. But even with that being said, I feel like we are making progress in working towards that goal of making sure that the employees are communicated to. So communication-wise, we have pumped up communication. And way we do that is we make sure that the employees are in the know. We make sure the board is in the know. We make sure our clients are in the know. And then we make sure the rest of the world's in the know. So as an example of that would be that we have said that every single client, and there's 900 some, every single client will receive an individual phone call often from the relationship manager, which would be the equivalent to a financial advisor at another firm. So every single one of them will receive an individual phone call, and that has happened. And the magic that has happened with that is that people can, and so we talk about the care and that we care for individuals, but that actually is the proof in the pudding, is picking up the phone. How are you doing? Okay, yes, let's talk about your money. I know it's taken a hit, and then they can launch into that, but really it's the, how are you as an individual? How are you handling this pandemic? Listening for how can I be helpful? And then going into that. And that has done wonders. Just a story that has come out of that is that somebody has actually said, I'm going to call my girlfriend. She has said she hasn't even heard from her financial advisor. And you've called me 2 times already just to see how I'm doing. And actually her friend came over as a client. So people want to be heard. They want to be understood. And so to be getting that from something that we can contribute, that's been a way that we have come together in this pandemic, is to say clients' needs first. Call them, call everyone. We are in the relationship business.
Wow, what a great example. And in particular, that story, I agree with you that more than anything else, people need to know that we care about them, and that I don't think there's any such thing as over communication. Generally speaking, I believe that's true. Certainly in times of uncertainty, we need lots and lots of information. And so, great example of how you're serving customers in particular, and working with one another. So, all right. So, Kristen, I'm thinking over the years that you and I have chatted, certainly back in the day in classroom environments, we talked about things that had to do with leading. And we talked, of course, about leadership principles in those sorts of settings. But we were talking more about leadership behaviors, not leadership jobs or leadership titles. And I know for you, as a parent, there are a lot of leadership skills. When you have had the opportunity where you had direct reports, there's a lot of leadership principles that you use for that. As a member of a community and lots of spaces in your life, you're calling upon these leadership principles. And especially now, I think certainly the principles around engaging and communicating with people are very important. But could you give our listeners a sense of the leadership principles that are important to you, that you carry around, and that you try to teach others as you are helping to develop other people in their leadership, I know, in your world right now?
Sure. The leadership has so many facets and so many buzzwords that come along with it, doesn't it? So I did think long and hard on this, because I feel like I could spout off all these things. Well, oh, I feel like I'm this and I feel like I'm that, but it was like, I don't want to do that. So I thought what I would just do is say, these are the things that I hear people saying about describing me, and that feels more comfortable. But one of the things that I feel, especially during this pandemic, is thoughtfulness. So a style that just comes naturally to me as a outgoing person, and as somebody who is just, I think my mom just bred this into me, is to care for others. And when you're raised by a strong-willed person, you tend to pick up those qualities. But thoughtfulness, I love asking people questions. And I feel like I have this innate ability to read on people's faces if they're giving me crap or if they're actually telling me the truth. So I like to be curious and thoughtful. That is top of mind for me. And especially during this pandemic, you know, if somebody's on my mind, it's usually for a reason, some sort of sixth sense. So I'll pick up the phone and I'll just call them and be like, Sarah, you were on my mind today. No need to call back. I just wanted to say hi. Hope everything's fine with you and the kids. This is what we've been up to. And I tend to find out that thoughtfulness actually, and it helps them. And that's the number one goal, is to help others. But it actually eases my mind, because I find that those things could actually stay on them until I, talk about it or talk to them. So pulling out of people information and listening and helping them get to their root cause, I think also helps them become a more effective worker too. So thoughtfulness, I would say, is number one. Which then leads into caring. I think that it's important to be caring during these times, and because we've got different work situations at home. I'm up in my bonus room right now. I can hear my husband chopping wood out here, and I can hear my kids giggling downstairs. Like, it's just, we've got to be caring and compassionate during this time, that we may not be working in the best of work environments. I mean, I guess that's debatable. I'm thriving in this now, but it took me 2 to 3 weeks to get used to it, because I was mourning the loss of going to work and having that drive and visiting with my coworkers. And so just understanding that what we're going through is going to affect the way that we're working. And I believe if we talk about it and get through this together, we're going to come on the other side of it stronger. So those were the things that I really wanted to single out. And the third was mindset. I think it's a part of our role as a leader to get in the right mindset to bring our best selves to work. But I also wanted to mention, even though I am a positive, upbeat person, there's days that I'm not on my A game, and sometimes I can't even describe it. I can't really put my finger on why, but I think it's okay to feel those things. Just know that, like, okay, well, is this fact versus feeling? Is what I'm feeling actually rooted in that it's positively something terrible happening, or is it that I'm just feeling this certain way today? So I believe that your mind is the most powerful tool that you can bring to work. And so if you can show compassion, you can show that caring, and that you can get yourself in the right mindset, then the to-do list is going to be easier, the teamwork is going to be easier, and it's also going to feel more meaningful.
So as you were talking, one of the things that I kept thinking about is this need to be attentive and to be mindful and to be thoughtful and caring, and how those things, as you talked about, are so important during this time. And so, as you know, of course, Kathy and I have written a book, The Demotivated Employee, and we would agree with all of those things. We'd affirm everything that you said there around why those things help people to keep their motivation when they're dealing with situations like this. And we also know from earlier in your conversation, you shared about how the culture with TriStar is really engaging and relational, and really about taking care of other people. And you even talked about how cool is it that you actually have an engagement survey that you've deployed, and you're actually utilizing that data to inform decisions that you're making to help your employees with that. So Kathy and I and our audience, we'd love to better understand What are your thoughts around really how organizations can help their employees to stay engaged and connected beyond the communication piece that you kind of already talked about, and to also keep their motivation? Because again, there's a real impact to the business when employees have these motivational slumps or they disengage. So what are your thoughts around that?
Sure. I wanted to, loving the book, by the way, and I can see myself in a lot of the book, in the way that you break out how people become demotivated and how there's 5 actual things around that. I was like, holy crap, I can see myself in this book, but also can see how I can pull myself out of the demotivation portion of it. I feel that leaders, again, have this responsibility to these employees that are entrusted to their care. And when I was reading, I thought it's vision, and we are all in this together, but we have got to be reminded often about where the heck are we going? You've got your mission that tells you what it is that we do on a daily basis. You've got the core values of like, how should I behave? And there's going to be times where you veer off of that and have to get rid of the noise of something that's come up or a customer complaint or insert issue here. But where the heck are we going? Because fear is a real thing. And I think that fear is creeping in and seeping in right now with things we can't control. So I believe we can scenario think it, but we got to go, okay, in my world, we need to find ways that we are going to be the most trusted and valued wealth management partner. What does that mean? People come to us because they know that they can trust us, that they can believe in us, that they want to be around us. How can we continue working towards that goal? Let's revisit we're actually doing this next month. Let's revisit our strategic plan. We've had this 3-year goals set out. What do we have to do to morph those a little bit and tweak them? But let's not make those changes because we heard so-and-so organizations coming to our region. Let's make those changes because this is how we can make what we're doing better. Because reminder, this is where we're going. So I work under great leadership that actually does that job of reminding us where we are going. So I would encourage you leaders, remind people of the vision and where the heck is this train going, because these people have self-selected to be on this train. So let's bring them along on the journey.
Well, first of all, thank you for the feedback about the book, and I'm glad that it's very relatable for you, and that you can see both the things that you've experienced, that you've done as a leader, and that other people have done that help keep you motivated, help keep other people motivated, that those are in the book, as well as, uh-oh, something went wrong, how do we fix it? And so I love the ideas that you shared there, Kristen. Just as we wrap up, I wonder if you could just kind of picture, you probably have this opportunity in your life, but picture the person earlier in their career who's thinking about their future as a leader and thinking about their investment. Maybe they have a little different kind of time right now where they could invest a little in their leadership development, besides reading a good book, and I could recommend one at least. But in addition to that, anything that you would, 1 or 2 pieces of advice you would give to people about developing their leadership skills?
I think in your heart, you know what kind of a leader you want to be. And I think that you know where you want to go. I think you just need to get out of your own way. And I think you need to dig into those things that are just calling your name. For me, I know it's that I'm built to give back. I'm built to help people along their journey. I'm built to help bring people to Christ and help them understand that they can put that smile on their face and be the happiness of other people's day. But it's taken getting a business coach to help me get there. It's taken writing in a journal to help me get there. It's taken mentors along the way. So my piece of advice to you is that this is a time of trial, but it's also a time of opportunity. So I would say find a mentor. If it's somebody on social media that you gravitate towards their leadership style, I gravitate towards Rachel Hollis's leadership style. I gravitate towards following blogs that inspire me. I gravitate towards, I have a mentor that I'm actually having a Zoom meeting lunch with today. We've been doing it for years, but surround yourself with the type of people that you want to be like, and they will help pull you through. You might not know in this conversation what nugget of information they're going to give you that will help you get to the next spot. But if you're open enough to it, they'll give it to you. So that would be my piece of advice, is to find a mentor, along with, I'd say, stay true to your roots. You're going to be learning leadership styles and I wish I could tell my younger self that, like, you have your values, assumptions, and beliefs that have brought yourself to this point. It's okay to keep those. That's what makes you, you, and the world needs you. The world doesn't need you acting like somebody else. So stay true to those roots, not in a disrespectful way. That's not what I'm saying, but stay true to those roots that make you, you, and strengthen those strengths. Work on those weaknesses that you know you can. They're not weaknesses, they're just opportunities, but work on them. Respond to those emails faster if you know that's a weakness of yours. Whatever it is, you're going to have some tactics that you can work on. So find a mentor and stay true to your roots are the two things that I really wanted to single out and talk about.
Well, Kristen, thank you so much for sharing that insight and perspective around really being true to yourself and mentorship, and really all of the perspective that you shared with us today. We know that those of you who have tuned in today to Lessons from Leaders, that you found so much value in what Kristen has shared around her professional experiences, and that there's so much that you can glean from what she has been able to present to us today. So thank you again so much, Kristen, for being with Kathy and I today.
Thank you so much for having me. You two. You two are an inspiration. Keep up the great work.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate that. And so for those of you who have tuned in today to Kristen, we know that you're saying, man, where can I get more of this? Where can I see more videos just like this? Well, you can head to our website, theleadershipdoctors.com, and you'll see more video segments there from other leaders inside of organizations who are sharing their insights and perspectives. So thank you for tuning in today.